Hi, I don't know how to do a YouTube channel, so I'm just gonna pretend like I do it, and then we're just gonna do it. If you're from the Snapchat story, then hi, and then if you're not from the Snapchat story, then that's cool. Hi, hopefully all's well for you. I unfortunately am gonna be talking about the same thing I talked about on the Snapchat story this morning. I have all my notes written down in my journal, so we can just get started with that. So this is gonna be all about finding inspiration while we're out of school for the next 6 weeks. I don't really know if I don't think we're quarantined because we're allowed to leave our houses, but everything's like shutting down, so it's kind of weird and it feels like the apocalypse. So I just want to talk about finding inspiration while we're stuck in our houses for the next 6 weeks. So I think the biggest issue that we're all going to be facing is the one thing that keeps us in a routine, which is school, is now taken away from us. But that's not to say that we can't keep a routine, and I think that's going to be the biggest factor in finding inspiration and being successful during this 6-week break. So this is going to be a really good time to realign our bodies and our minds and our spirits with what our true goals in life are. And that sounds really when I say it, but I promise that this is just the perfect opportunity to make ourselves better people. And that sounds so weird, but let me try to explain it. As I mentioned before, 6 weeks is like the perfect amount of time to cultivate or explore a new passion. And I think that it's really important that we start doing that sooner rather than later. Technically, the 6 weeks doesn't even start until tomorrow. So we still got time. I think it's worth mentioning that every single one of us has struggled with procrastination or putting something off because we were too busy or we were too tired or any other excuse really. Because once we accept that for ourselves, then it's so much easier to move forward. It's kind of like forgiveness almost for yourself before you start something new. So take a moment and accept what you've done. That sounds so bad. But just accept the way your life has been and make a conscious effort that you're going to change that for yourself. I think it's really important to mention that this time period doesn't have to be all about cultivating a brand new passion, something that you've never tried before. If you want it to be that, that's beautiful, that's perfect. Do that. But also, it can be trying to get back into something that you used to be super passionate about. For me, that is painting and drawing, two things that I used to do all the time, and I just got too busy when in reality I just got too lazy to make the time or the effort to do those things. So it doesn't have to be starting something new. It can be getting back into something. Okay, so now comes the part where you get out your journal or even just a piece of paper. It doesn't have to be super fancy, and I think that sometimes that maybe seems a little bit intimidating. So get out a piece of paper that you can tack to your wall by your bed so you can see it all the time. And we're going to write out our goals for ourselves during this 6-week time period. And while you're writing, I don't want it to be, oh, can I do this in 6 weeks? I just want this time to be like a building block. You don't have to become the best skateboarder in the world or read 12 books in 6 weeks. Like, that's not the expectation. You can start with something small in this 6 weeks and develop it into something bigger. So with that aside, we can get out our notebooks or our journals or a piece of paper and let's start writing down our goals for ourselves. And don't limit yourself to anything. If you want to try something, then write it down. And that doesn't mean that you're necessarily going to get to it, but the fact that you have it written down, that's good juju. So if you're kind of stuck, I'm going to share my personal goals for myself. So I want to develop an easy workout routine, which I've been doing pretty good. I've been doing it for the past couple weeks, and just want to keep doing it throughout the whole 6 weeks. Recently I bought a pull-up bar from Value Village, and I've been doing pull-ups every single day, and that's just been like a fun little thing to do. And I found a pull-up bar almost every single time I go to Value Village. So go to your local thrift store and see if they have a pull-up bar, because they're like $7 or $8, and then you can get strong and get a good workout. So invest in a pull-up bar. My second goal I have for myself is to start painting and drawing again, which I mentioned the last time I seriously drew something was in September, and I can't believe I let that get away from me. So I'm going to start drawing again. Something else I want to do is maintain a healthy sleep schedule, which I will talk about a little bit later. I also want to go skiing a couple more times this season. I want to continue to develop my skateboarding because I bought a skateboard last summer and then I couldn't ride it during fall, and I wanted to, but I couldn't because I didn't want to get hurt. And I've been really practicing a lot recently, and so I'm getting a lot better, and I can do a couple small little tricks, not too shabby. Something else I want to do is do my homework, and I know that sounds so weird, but we have this book for English. I'm not giving up on it. I'm gonna do all the reading, and I'm gonna do all the assignments associated with it because I'm still in school. Like, I still have to graduate, so 6 weeks is the perfect amount of time to do some homework. I also hopefully want to find a job. As much as I want to take this time to focus on myself, I also really do want a job because that will give me purpose in life. I know when I had a job last summer, I was a lot happier than I have been in the past with any summer because I had a purpose. I was serving myself and I was serving other people. So I'm gonna try to find a job. Some other potential inspiration I have for you is to start meditating. I also think that it will be good to start practicing the law of attraction. You can journal your whole experience that you go through during this process. That would be like really valuable to look back on in the future, I think. Something else you can do is deep clean your entire room. For me, I literally just did this. I moved from a different bedroom in my house to this one, and I deep cleaned. It feels really nice. It's like a brand new clean space that I can work in. Something else you could do is try yoga. I love yoga personally. It's really fun. And something else you could do when it gets probably a little bit warmer and there's more UV rays. The UV, what is it, like the thing is higher. Go outside and suntan. Listen to music, lay in the sun, it feels really good, and you get vitamin D. So there you go. Something else that I think is really important to mention is that this whole thing is about mindset, about keeping a positive mindset. I think that this 6-week break is going to be a true test to our mindset and our mental strength in general. There's some days where it's going to be really tough, and the last thing you're going to want to do is be cooped up in your house. But I think just keeping a positive mindset and keeping these goals that you have for yourself like taped up by your bed or in a notebook that you can look in all the time, like that's going to be so good for your mind, because you're going to keep seeing these things and then you're going to think, I can do that, I can do that, I can do that. It's going to become more realistic and not such a daunting task to get started on these things. So earlier I mentioned maintaining a decent sleep schedule, and so that's going to be one of the things that I'm focusing on, is trying to keep my routine as similar to school as possible. So I have a little list here of what I'm doing. So in the morning I'm gonna wake up. I woke up this morning around 7:30. That's pretty normal for me without an alarm, just that time period. And then when I wake up, I do yoga. So I have my yoga mat like on this side of my bed, so you can't see it, but it's the first thing I see when I wake up in the morning, and it's nice. It's like doing yoga in the morning. It's a good stretch. It's a moment to set your mind and your intentions for the day. So it's a good way to get started on the day. Also, just listening to the birds. It's springtime now, and the birds do be chirping. So just listening to the birds in the morning, that's just so nice, I guess. Another thing I'm going to do to keep my routine is after I do my yoga, I'm just gonna go take a shower and then get ready for the day. I think a really bad trap that all of us could probably fall into is staying in our pajamas all day long, not showering unless we're going out. I think it's important to just keep our routine because that's gonna make us feel better, like both mentally and physically. I know I feel sick when I stay in my pajamas all day long. I feel gross and lazy. Another thing you can do, it's really simple, just make your bed. That's a really small thing, but it makes a really big difference. So make your bed. And finally, I'm gonna do some schoolwork every single day, hopefully every single day. For right now, I've got The Great Gatsby and all those reading journals that go along with it. I'm not taking any other AP tests, but what I can do is read my government book. I can also do some math, which would definitely be really valuable to my math intelligence. So those are the things that I'm going to do to maintain my routine, is keep it as normal as possible. Overall, just allow this time to be an opportunity to realign yourself and start building good habits. Like I mentioned earlier, you don't have to become the best skateboarder in the next 6 weeks. It's all about building the habit so that as soon as this 6 weeks is over, you can continue that like throughout the rest of your life or the rest of the school year, even just the rest of the summer. I don't know, just start building good habits. I don't want you guys, I don't want me to become a slave to my bed or a slave to my cell phone. I think that's also something really good about like making your bed in the morning, because you don't want to ruin it until you go to bed. That way it'll keep you off of your bed once you've made it, so you won't become a slave to your bed if you do that. And if you're trying to cultivate a new passion, then the last thing you're gonna want to do is be on your phone getting distracted. So there's that. Hopefully this whole YouTube thing works out a little bit better for me and you. I mean, the Snapchat's fine, it's just this way I could reach like a bigger audience of people, hopefully, maybe, we'll see. And I already said this on the Snapchat story, but I hope you have a really good day. I want you to go out and do something for yourself. So if that is running a couple of errands, or if that is drawing something, then you do that. The next video I'm going to make is going to be about law of attraction, as requested by a couple of people on the Snapchat. And I'll probably just upload that tomorrow. Like, this is something I want to do. This is something I've wanted to do for a long time. So this is something I'm going to work on, and I'll probably just make a new video every single day for the next 6 weeks. So see you then. Okay, for real though, goodbye. Have a good day. Yeah, this is really awkward, and I'm like just really scared about this whole situation and experience, but I guess it'll be good for me. Okay, bye.